A lot of you guys have issues with recovery because every time I look at your blood work, you have. Hey guys, what's going on? Megan here. How to recover faster from workouts so that you can obviously do more weekly volume and get more gains from the gym, especially if you're natural. All right, let's get started. We have S tier, A tier, and B tier. S tier is mandatory, right? There's no way you're going to speed up recovery unless you do the stuff in S tier. A tier is great. It's going to give you a great boost in terms of recovery. Still important, just not as important as S tier, obviously. And B tier, that's pretty much okay, right? Things that are gonna help you with recovery, but it's not gonna make or break. It's not gonna make or break your ability to recover faster from workouts. All right, let's get started. Water. That's S tier. No questions asked. 99.9% of you guys are dehydrated. You think you're drinking enough water, but when really you're not. Trust me, I work with clients, been doing this for years. You'd be surprised at how often people think, hey, I'm well hydrated. But, if you're not fully recovered, guys, every system in your body slows down, right? Hormonal systems, digestion, even sleep is affected, methylation is affected, everything you could think about, right? You gotta make sure you're fully hydrated. It's at the foundation of every single biological system. If you want more details, watch my video on water. Next, we have vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. Again, from whole foods, not supplements. Like I say in every video, mainly from whole foods. That's also an S tier, right? And once again, well over 90% of people are deficient in the vitamins and minerals, right? It's not even close, right? And people that work out are actually more deficient because they're not replenishing whatever they're losing from um, sweating and obviously the things that your body needs to repair your immune system and recover from the gym. 99.9999% of lifters piss on it, right? They think just popping a multivitamin is enough to, meet their needs when it's not. It's actually worse, right? Make sure you're eating a balanced diet that covers all. And if you don't believe me, guys, just go to Chronometer and enter your average daily eating, and you see how most of you guys are not even getting the RDA recommendation, right? And the RDA is trash. The RDA is trash. It was designed for the average 140 to 150 pound weakling who's not in the gym pumping iron, at least 3 times a week, right? So if you're not even getting the LDA, which a lot of you guys are not, a lot of you guys are deficient in potassium, magnesium, then you try to, then instead of getting it from whole foods, you try to supplement with it, which creates more imbalances because now you're overdosing on the bitch. Guys, long story short, get your vitamins and minerals from whole foods, right? Vitamin A, all the B vitamins, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K, they're all important. Don't try to overdose on one because then that's going to create a deficiency in some of the other ones. Next, protein. Obviously, it's also in S tier, right? I'm not going to explain why. By now, you should know the importance of amino acids. If you're having issues recovering, chances are you're not getting high quality protein. Keep in mind, I'm saying high quality protein, right? So that does not count a lot of the low leucine sources you guys are eating, right? You could be eating 200 grams of protein, but if that's not high quality protein, if that's not full of leucine and full of other essential amino acids, that doesn't really count, right? So get a lot of protein. Try to get at least 3 to 5 meals a day of high quality protein. My usual rule of thumb is 1 gram per pound of obviously lean body weight, right? If you're 400 pounds overweight, don't eat 400 grams of protein, right? Obviously, use your lean body weight or use your height in centimeters, right? So if you're 170 centimeters, try to get somewhere around 170 grams of protein. And remember, if you're doing full body workouts, that number is even that number slightly goes higher. Next, in S tier, one of the most underrated things, especially in natural bodybuilding, your healthy fats. Guys, you cannot neglect your healthy fats. That includes obviously your omega 3s, that includes your monounsaturated fats, and obviously to some extent your saturated fat, right? A lot of you guys are getting enough saturated fat, but you're very, very low in omega 3 fatty acids and in monounsaturated fats, right? So get your fish, get your avocado, get your olive oil. Try to avoid obviously bad fats, right? Avoid trans fats, avoid omega 6s, avoid seed oils. Try to get the majority of your fats from, once again, fatty fish for the omega 3s. Get your saturated fats from eggs and red meat, and get your monounsaturated fats mainly from avocado, olive oil, and things like that, and some healthy nuts. Next, sleep. Obviously, also in S tier. I'm not even going to spend a lot of time explaining that. Watch my video where I go over all the benefits of sleep. Not only that's important for your recovery from the gym, from your hormonal system, your testosterone production, your insulin sensitivity, your cortisol, your cognitive function. I mean, the list never ends, right? Again, S tier. Try to get at least 8 to 10 hours of sleep. 7 hours is not enough, guys. I know you're thinking, well, it's only 1 hour difference between 7 and 8. That last hour is extremely important, especially if you're trying to get uninterrupted sleep, right? You got to get into those last deep REM cycles. And keep in mind, 7 hours might be fine for the average Joe who just wakes up, goes to work, comes home sedentary. But if you're training hard, full body workouts, high volume, high frequency, right? Natural on top of that, you cannot, I mean, it's just common sense. You can't sleep 7 hours just like a sedentary person who also needs 7 hours, right? Try to get 8 to 10. I know it's hard, trust me, it's hard to get sleep. You know, I've struggled with insomnia for so long, but guys, you gotta prioritize sleep. I have several videos on how to optimize sleep. Make sure you check them out. All right, we're done with S tier. Let's move on to A tier. Getting enough calories. That's one of the biggest things that slows down your recovery, guys. You guys are under eating. Once again, you're chasing that six pack dream. You're under eating, and you're wondering why your recovery success, right? You gotta eat enough calories. If you're cutting because you're obese, and that should be the only reason why you're cutting, is because you're either obese or maybe because you're around 20% body fat and you're trying to get to about 15, maybe 14, 13% body fat, right, to optimize testosterone production. And that should be the only reason why you're cutting, right? Assuming you have enough muscle on you as well, right? But even if you're cutting, try not to go into big caloric deficits, right? No bigger than 500, right? Unless you know exactly what you're doing, which most of you fuckers don't, right? So if you're cutting, once again, it should only be because you're either obese or around 20% body fat and trying to get down to closer to the 15% range. Try not to go into big caloric deficits because that's going to drain and wreck your recovery, right? Remember, your body needs calories for everything, not just for your hormonal systems, but for obviously methylation, your immune system. Keep in mind, recovery is really in your immune system, right? It's blood flow, immune system, antioxidant systems, and your body needs a lot of calories to keep fueling these processes. So if you're struggling with recovery, check your caloric intake. Now, that doesn't mean that you should go crazy and eat 1,000 calories over your TDEE, right? Your total daily energy expenditure, because then you're just gonna get fat as fuck, insulin resistant. You're gonna create a bunch of oxidative stress, and you're gonna fuck up your testosterone. So again, it's all about balance, right? Inverted U curve for everything. Remember that. Next thing in A tier, walking. Walking is so underrated for recovery, guys, right? I try not to say cardio because when I say cardio, people think jogging, running. No, just walking. Going out for a walk, getting some blood flow into your system. That's going to speed up recovery like crazy, right? That's also going to help with soreness. Remember, guys, once again, recovery is about optimizing your immune system and also blood flow. You got to shuttle those nutrients to the target cells, especially when your body's trying to increase muscle protein synthesis while lowering muscle protein breakdown, right? So you got to keep moving. One of the worst things you want to do after a workout is just be sedentary or just lay in bed watching TV. You know, move, go for a walk. The next day, go for a walk again, right? Try to walk, get some sunlight. Keep the blood flow going. Humans did not evolve to be sedentary. That's why every system speeds up when we active and every system slows down when we sedentary. Next, carbs. That's in A tier, right? That's going to speed up glycogen replenishment, which is going to allow you to go back in the gym as soon as possible. It's going to keep cortisol low, which is extremely important during the recovery phase. You're trying to maximize your testosterone to cortisol ratio, right? Carbs are going to help with that. It's going to help lower stress. The insulin spike is obviously going to help amino acids get shuttled into the cells as well. And keep in mind, carbs are extremely important for lowering sex hormone binding globulin and increasing your free testosterone, right? So again, don't neglect your carbs, especially in the post-workout window. Remember, right after the gym, you have like a 2 hour window where your body's replenishing glycogen like crazy. After that, your body's still replenishing glycogen, but at a much slower rate, right? So after the gym, try to go ham on your post-workout carbs. Next in A tier, training more frequently. Yes, believe it or not, and then the studies have confirmed this over and over again, the more frequently you train, the faster your body recovers. People have it backwards. They think, oh, I'm going to train on Monday. Oh, look, I'm sore. Let me wait a fucking week before I train again. No, the more often you train, the faster your body adapts, the faster the repeated body effect is going to kick in. And trust me, you will notice it, right? You want your body to recover faster, train more frequently. Obviously, keep everything in balance, right? Don't try to create a fuck ton of damage on Monday and try to go back on Tuesday and go all out, right? You got to be very systematic with it, right? Follow the HSP training principles. But long story short, the more frequently you train, the faster your central nervous system, the faster your local systems, and the faster even your muscles themselves are going to adapt and recover and become more resilient to frequency. That's why people who train bro splits are almost always sore and they think it's a good thing. No, if you've been training for a long time, you shouldn't be sore every time you go to the fucking gym, right? You're either doing too much in one session or you're not training frequently enough for your body to adapt to that. All right, and I said 10, but I give you guys 2 bonuses here. So, all right, next in A tier, that's one of the bonus items. I said it was going to be top 10, but it's actually 12. mTOR reset. That's in A tier, right? Guys, you cannot keep watch my videos on mTOR reset, right? You can't, if assuming you're training hard, you can't keep training week after week after week after week. Again, assuming you're training hard, right? And expect your body not to eventually break down, right? Follow the 4 weeks on, 1 week off approach. Maximum 6 weeks on, 1 week off, right? Give yourself a whole week for mTOR reset. It's actually gonna lead to faster recovery, faster strength gains when you come back to training, faster muscle growth. Again, I made a ton of videos about that already, and the science heavily backs it up. Keep in mind, I'm talking about mTOR reset, not fucking deloading, right? During that week, just focus on resting, lowering stress, working on your businesses, working on school, whatever else you have to do while your body replenishes its resources, right? A whole bunch of epigenetic changes are going to take place during that week. Your androgen receptors are going to resensitize your mTOR, your myonuclei. You guys know the whole story. All right, for B tier, we have one item, which is lower stress, lowering stress, socializing, having a good time, hanging out with your friends. I'm going to put that in B tier, right? It's still good, right? B tier is not bad. It's not Leon, but that's very important for, once again, lowering stress, lowering cortisol, guys. You can't be in sympathetic nervous system mode all the time, right? You got to give time. You got to have periods of time when you switch gears, where you let your parasympathetic nervous system kick in, where you recover, where you just relax, right? That's why if you follow the Team 3D Alpha daily routine, the fifth portion, the final portion is mood. That's when you relax, call your friends, call your family, have a good time, watch TV, beat your meat, play video games. I don't care what you do, but relax. You've earned it. You've trained hard that day. You went to school. You made money. You manage your businesses. Give yourself a cool down period, right? I don't care if it's 3 hours, 4 hours. Just make sure it doesn't fuck up your sleep, right? You got to have balance, guys. And last but not least, increase your testosterone levels, right? That's obviously in S tier, right? Needs no explanation. Increase your testosterone levels. A lot of you guys have issues with recovery because every time I look at your blood work, you have shit testosterone levels. Your total testosterone is low. Your free testosterone is low. Your HSBG is through the roof, right? Mainly because you're fucking up your S tier to-do list, right? So bring up your testosterone levels, especially your free testosterone levels, and I guarantee you're gonna notice a massive improvement in your recovery, right? And once again, I'm talking about naturally, no TRT bullshit, right? No fuck ass supplements. Do the basics that I always preach on this channel, and you'll see your recovery when your free testosterone is in the high range, so closer to 200 picogram per milliliter, which corresponds to a total testosterone of about 700, 800 or more. Your recovery is going to be night and day compared to when you have shit testosterone levels. I see it with my clients all the time. It never fails. Anyway, guys, hope this video helps. Check out the Reddit.